Board of Education is called to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Schiraldi, please call the roll.
Mrs. Mahalis,
Here.
Mrs. Click,
Here.
Dr. Schneider,
Here.
Mr. Acom,
Here.
Mrs. Fuller.
Here.
All right, we begin tonight's meeting with special recognitions, and we'll start with the Quiz Bowl team. Did you want to introduce?
Certainly, it would be my pleasure. So our Quiz Bowl team has had some outstanding success, and it was actually Mrs. Mahalis' idea that we bring Coach Andy Walker, who's also a math teacher at the high school, and invite some students in to tell us about their season. They qualified for the state competition and have qualified for the national competition. Are going to be competing here this weekend, Memorial Day weekend. So Coach Walker, if you and your team would like to approach the podium over there and tell us about the success of your team and what you have coming up, we would love to hear about it.
Hi, I'm Annie Walker. I'm coach of the Quiz Bowl team, teacher at the high school, and I'm just so proud of these kids and just really, really excited to take them to Atlanta this weekend. Getting to be coach of the Quiz Bowl team and watch them grow and learn and get excited about Shakespeare and philosophers and, to advance to national tournaments. There's just nothing better. So we're very excited. Thank you all so much for your support, community, board, administrators, family, everyone. Thank you for everything.
Thank you all for inviting us here today. It's nice to see you all. We've had a great season. We're excited to go to nationals. We're going to Atlanta. We're leaving this Friday. We've had an excellent season. We came first in our county, and we made it 2 states for OAC. Ohio Academic Competition.
When you guys come up to speak, do you mind introducing yourself just so they can put a name with the face too?
Sure. My name is Ben Hersick.
Hi, my name is Morgan Savage. Yes, you heard that correctly. Thanks for inviting us. I'm really excited to be here and to go to Atlanta.
Hi, I'm Elijah Brown. Although I'm not going to nationals, I'm very excited. We had a great year. I did pretty good. Our entire team did very well. I think we had a couple people in like the top 10 players for our region, which was really great, and yeah, very excited.
Hi, I'm Santosh. I'm one of the seniors on the team. Been really happy with how the season's gone. This is my last season as well. We also have one junior who wasn't here, Chase, but next year is going to be his last year. Just wanted to thank all the teachers, the board, and especially our coach, Mrs. Walker, for everything she's done this season.
I'm Robin Hill. I'm a sophomore, and I'm really grateful to you all and to Ms. Walker for giving me the opportunity, because this has been really fun.
Board members, do you have any follow-up questions or anything you'd like to ask Coach Walker or the team before we recognize them?
I have a question. Do you study for this? And if you do, what do you study? Are there boundaries? How do you know what to study?
There's a lot that we have to study. We're given categories in advance. We know the distribution of them. There's a lot of online resources for us, and we do spend time both in our meetings and outside of the meetings studying so that we can perform better. We've had a lot of that this year. We've had multiple meetings in the last few weeks, actually, where we meet in the cafeteria. We spend a few hours after school.
Typically with our competition, there's multiple categories, so each member on our team tends to specialize in 1 or 2 areas. Of course, everyone tries to study everything to cross-reference, but everyone tends to focus on one little subset, so then within our team, we're able to cover a vast array of subjects and really perform well.
Anything else?
All right, well, thank you for coming. Congratulations. We wish you all the best, and we'll be excited to hear how you do, and no matter how it ends, It's quite the feat getting to where you're going to Atlanta, so congratulations.
Let's give them all a round of
Thank
applause.
you.
Coach Walker and students, thank you for being here. If you'd like to take a picture back there just to commemorate you being here at the board meeting and being recognized, you can do so. And then feel free to leave. No need to stay for the business
Yeah, if
part of the
you feel like
meeting.
you
We
need to
appreciate
go
you being here this
study, go
evening.
ahead.
Yeah, go study up for Atlanta. Yeah, back, yeah.
I'm going to wait just a minute.
Yeah, just
so,
give me a second.
Before we go on.
Oh, that's a big part of our crowd there. There's 1/3.
I used to do something.
Thank you so much and good luck, Quiz Bowl team.
Okay, next we move on to Exhibit A1, which is a resolution to recognize excellence. The Aurora Board of Education is proud to recognize and congratulate Brian Hagan for excellence in classified service for this school year. May I have a motion, please?
Moved.
Mr. Schiraldi, please call the roll.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
Dr. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller? Mr. Akam?
Yes.
And would Mr. Hagan please come forward up to the table here, shake our hands, and then Mr. Warders will introduce you.
Congratulations again. Happy to see you here tonight.
Congratulations.
Good evening, Mrs. Mahalis and members of the Board of Education, as well as Superintendent Dr. Milstich and Mr. Hayes. I want to thank you for allowing me the time this evening to recognize an extraordinary member of our Layton Elementary family. Tonight, it is my absolute honor to celebrate Mr. Brian Hagan, the recipient of the 2026 Excellence in Classified Service Award. In my short time as principal at Layton, it has become clear that Brian is vital to our daily operations. But more than just that, he is a crucial part of the heart of our school community. I would like to read a direct quote from just one of the several nominations from his peers. Brian always goes above and beyond to help keep our building clean and functional. He gets things fixed or set up immediately and goes out of his way to help where needed. He is extremely pleasant, reliable, kind, helpful, professional, and overall just a wonderful person to work with. We are so grateful to have Brian at Layton. I probably could stop right there, but I have more. As the quote articulates so perfectly, Brian possesses a rare combination of compassion for his craft and a deep care for the people he works with. He is intentionally and consistently building positive relationships with both adults and students every day. Mr. Hagan checks in routinely on our staff and me, which I sincerely appreciate, just to see how everything is going and to see if there's anything specific that may need done. You can often find Brian at dismissal, taking the time to talk and put a smile on the faces of our students with severe disabilities, as well as the paraprofessionals who support them as they wait for their transportation home. It is a small daily interaction that makes a massive world of difference to our kids. No matter the task asked of him, whether it is setting up for a major school event, dealing with the clogged bathroom, which happens a lot in a 345 building, just so you know, or moving an unexpected delivery, Brian does it with a genuine smile and always asks, "How else can I help?" Brian is that person at work where the moment you mention his name, everyone responds the same way. I just love Brian. That kind of universal admiration doesn't just come from a stellar work ethic and a willingness to support the team. It comes from how he treats people. Brian treats everyone with respect, profound kindness, and a genuine interest in their well-being. Simply put, Brian is exactly the type of person you want to surround yourself with. The way he approaches his work and the way he treats others is inspiring. He genuinely makes you want to be better at what you do. Mr. Hagan, without a doubt, symbolizes the green standard, which is what we strive for and expect here at Aurora. Layton Elementary is extremely proud of Brian. We do not feel this award could have gone to a more deserving or worthy individual this year. Please join me in congratulating and thanking Mr. Brian Hagan.
And Mr. Hagan, I just want to say I'm glad to meet you tonight because I've become friends with your wife, Mary, through Heinens. And long before tonight, she's told me what a great guy you are. And we do thank you for your commitment to keeping Layton safe and clean and welcoming so our students can learn and grow.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I work with a lot of good people too. I'm surrounded by awesome people.
He's humble too.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Thank you very much.
You'll do pictures? Yep.
Sure.
That's great. All right, Exhibit A2 is another resolution to recognize excellence. The Aurora Board of Education is proud to recognize and congratulate Steve Horvath for excellence in teaching service for this current school year. May I have a motion, please?
Move. Second?
Mr. Schiraldi, please call the roll.
Mr. Acom,
Yes.
Dr. Schneider,
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalis,
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller,
Yes.
Mrs. Click.
Yes.
All right, would Mr. Horvath please come forward?
Mr. Horvath, this picture, it just captures everything that goes on in your room. And I'm going to be speaking a little bit just to the awe and the wonder that Mr. Horvath creates in his classroom, but I did ask Mr. Hayes to share this with everyone today because his passion for teaching catches fire, literally. There's a quote that beautifully captures one of Steve Horvath's most admirable qualities. "Wake up early every day, so while others are still dreaming, you can make your dreams come true." That quote perfectly reflects one of the earliest risers in the greenhouse, someone who often beats the sunrise itself, arriving each morning to AHS by 6 a.m. at the latest, ready to serve students with energy, purpose, and consistency. His co-teacher, Brendan Gallagher, shared, "Steve did not miss a single day this year. If that doesn't scream commitment, I'm not sure what does." To watch Steve in action is to witness excellence in teaching and learning. He serves every learner with intentionality, masterfully expanding access to chemistry for all students through universal design and thoughtful instruction. There is no doubt that helping students grow, both as thinkers and as people, is Steve's dream come true. It is inspiring to see someone so deeply skilled in education foster awe and wonder, cultivate meaningful critical thinking, and authentically treasure students for exactly who they are. Steve's impact extends far beyond his classroom. He inspires not only students, but also colleagues fortunate enough to work alongside him. This is witnessed by so many of them that came tonight. Keegan Sheely wrote that he has learned so much from Steve about making activities accessible and optimizing access for all learners. Even the power of a word can make a difference in fostering confidence for struggling learners to flourish. His ability to reach all kids is amazing to witness. Grant Heil, one of our new chemistry teachers, shared that Steve masterfully translates his experience with chemistry into analogies, examples, and techniques that inspire interest and make it relevant to students' everyday lives. His acumen has been intentionally crafted over decades to help students excel. What may be most remarkable about Steve Horvath, however, is his selflessness and service to others. This year, he intentionally dedicated his professional goals to mentoring Mr. Sheely and Mr. Heil, and their words are a testament to the impact of that investment. Mr. Heil wrote that Steve consistently sacrifices his time to mentor myself and Mr. Sheely, and even gave up a week of his summer to attend an APSI for AP Chemistry with me, even though he knew he would not be teaching the course. A year ago today, Steve also attended the Board of Education meeting where I was approved as principal, intentionally showing up to support the transition and welcome me as a building leader. That spirit of support is simply who Steve is. He does it every day, as reliably as the sunrise, helping others achieve their dreams while quietly and humbly living out his own. To celebrate a colleague who embodies selflessness, excellent, and genuine care for others is one of the greatest honors our district team can have. Steve Horvath is extraordinarily deserving of this award, and it is my absolute pleasure to congratulate him today. Steve, we know what a music fan you are and wanted to show our gratitude. So we also hope that you appreciate this very special Grateful Dead album.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. We know that the success of our district begins in classrooms like yours, so we thank you for your dedication and your passion for teaching. Thanks. Okay. You do pictures?
And Horvath supporters, family members, don't feel like you have to stay either. Thank you for coming and supporting Steve. Yes. Stars are here. That's great.
All right, we'll move on to the approval of minutes from the regular meeting of April 27th. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Are there any comments or edits, additions to those minutes? All right, then Mr. Schiraldi, please call the roll.
Mrs. Fuller?
Yes.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
Mr. Acom?
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes.
Dr. Schneider?
Yes.
Minutes are approved as written, and we'll go to the superintendent's report.
Yes, I will go first, and I did share a link with the board of the capital improvement plan. I see that you have a printed, some of you have a printed out version as well. I want to talk a little bit about the importance of this document and the process and what we've done to create it, and then also how we will use it moving forward, and then also, you know, the implication of the essential plan in terms of passage or non-passage. So the first piece of this, this was obviously a major undertaking, a major project that we began. It's something I talked about with the board, I think going back to even last January, as you were in the process of hiring me, as I was about creating a capital improvement plan and having a facilities plan that would accompany our bond issue attempt with the essential plan. So we did that. I would say that all of us have contributed, and all of the principals and the head custodians and Mr. Powers. We began this, if you recall, way back in the fall with walkthroughs at all of our different buildings and athletic facilities, and really looking at what are our needs throughout the district from a facility standpoint. Some of them sooner, higher priority. Some of them, could wait. but looking at, potentially what would we need to do from a facility standpoint in the, say, next 3 to 5 to 8 to 10 years. So that was, part of our process. This is meant to be a strategic facility plan. I will remind the board and everybody else who's listening or here, we know we were still paying off the latent COPS, the latent debt essentially, and paid that off in December of 2024. For the year, 25 years before that, essentially, we were paying that from general funds, some of that from our permanent improvement funds, and we were also drawing out of our permanent improvement funds and setting aside funds to make sure that we could replace turf for the football field and track, all those things. So we really, and then we also had to do a bus rotation. So I would say we really only had a few $100,000 each year on facilities, so very limiting. So we have now reached the point where we were able to create a document like this because we are done paying that off. So this is a fluid document. I know you have the paper copy, but this is the reason why it's a monster spreadsheet is it's meant to be a fluid document that we will use as we're looking at our facilities plans and what we need to do each year the next few years. I am going to do a show and tell here in the next couple minutes. I'll pull that up and talk to you about that. But you will see as I pull this up that we have it split out, by the different buildings, athletic facilities, and we've really tried to put our highest priority up the first few years, and then you can see that we've also, some of the bigger projects, we've tried to split those out over, say, 2, 3, 4 years when we decided that it was appropriate to tackle that. So I definitely feel free to, thanks. Feel free to ask questions. I want the board, to feel comfortable with this sheet, but I think it's going to be a great planning document for us as well, as we look at our plans. We really were not in a position, unfortunately, to be proactive with our maintenance and with our facilities plans for a long time. And quite frankly, we are right now, as I sit here today, but we are taking that step to have this plan to address our facilities, both with the bond issue and then looking at this. I will tell you that the triage lists, you're well versed with the triage list, which are all those facility items that are addressed in the essential plan. Those are all included in here. You also have $3 to $4 million worth of projects that would be included if we were to have to keep Craddock, just basic things, not to update it, but just things like roofs that would have to get done. So, if the essential plan were to be passed, there's about $24 million that would be taken care of with the essential plan triage list, which would be obviously be huge. So let me just walk you through this, and I'll show you some tabulations at the bottom, and I'll take questions. So you can see it's split out from district items. The green highlighted items are ones that we've already done in fiscal year 26 or are set to be done in fiscal year 27, 28. Blue right there are just some of our, you can see it on the bottom, those are some of our rotational, I guess, or annual amounts that are pulled aside to replace the turf and the track, and also the tennis courts. So we do take money out each year of our PI and just set it aside that we can use later. We're hopeful that the turf will make it 7 years. That's our best guess right now. I think I mentioned this to the board in the summer when we were doing the track. When we fixed the track this summer, that was a patch. When we do the turf, we will have to redo the entire subsurface of the track and not just the surface. So, and we're aware of that, and we're setting aside funds. But that's going to be a very expensive project in about 7 years that we'll be prepared to do with our permanent improvement funds and district funds. So that's some of the color coding, and you can see it stretches out into fiscal year 2028, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, so that's where it takes us. Some of these things, and I'll use a couple of these as an example, Greenman Way and AHS parking lots, those are both very expensive items, both, each one is about $2 million. And so what we've done is that's obviously in the triage list, but you can see if that were to not pass, we're proposing that we'd have to look at that in fiscal year 28, 29, 30, and do sections of it over time. We simply cannot do it all at once without the essential plan. Quite frankly, we would barely be able to do it. We would be able to do it with the essential plan, but without the essential plan and just permanent improvement funds, we could hardly even do it in sections. We would have to do just that and nothing else in terms of repairs around the district. So that's just using that as an example. So you can see all of these listed parking lots, other items that are there from a district standpoint, turf, track, tennis, bus rotation, and it goes on and on and on. I won't go through every single one, but those are all district items at the top. And some of these, we would like to get into position where we're starting to redo some of the carpet tiles, more of LED lighting, parking lot lights on a rotational basis as well. So we did list some of those district items. And that's pretty typical, you know, in any, obviously, large organization is to have some type of rotations. So after that, you'll see we have AHS, and that's some of the priority items that we would need to tackle. Kitchen equipment, you know, that's on the triage list. You can see auditorium, seating, scoreboards, the stage, you know, a variety of things, as well as HVAC. So those were all listed at the high school. Harmon, we've actually, Mr. Abramovich has been very needed this year. You can see a lot of green there. We've been dressing a lot of things over there at Harmon, none of which were his fault, but just things that happen and need to be done. And you can see some other items there for the next number of years. Layton, big ticket items, HVAC, kitchen equipment would be some of the largest ones along with windows. Craddock, you can see we listed the items. We did do tuck pointing this year. Obviously, if the essential plan passes, none of these will be on this list. They would all be removed, but they are on there right now. Miller, you can see playground equipment. Windows will be some of the most pressing ones. Students' desk tables, that's something that's definitely needed at Miller. And then you can see a number of different items in athletics, from bleachers, scoreboards, you know, things like that, gym painting, which has been on the list for a long time. We did actually get $10,000 from Meyer, donated to the Aurora Schools Foundation, which is really technically supposed to be 4 scoreboards, but we need about $20,000 more of corporate sponsorships to hopefully do those and take that off this list as well. So that's in the works. So that's just sort of walking through that. We do, as the board knows, we do have a bus rotation that's currently in effect and will go through fiscal year 31, some of that from general funds, some of that from the permanent improvement funds. We are hopeful that at that point maybe we could pause it. Our fleet would be in good enough shape, but we'll take that year by year. So I know I'm taking a lot of time on this, but I do want to make sure the board understands it. Some of the bottom things are just projects that we would tackle eventually. They're listed out there, but there's nothing in them right now. So those are just, that's why those are down there, but they would be possibilities if we did do set-asides from general funds or have certain projects that we would tackle, like turf and track later. But what I want to show you before I take questions is I want you to look at, what is that, 131 there. I'm going to pull my cursor up. You can see the next couple, well, this is fiscal year 25, fiscal year 26, fiscal year 27. We are pretty close already to allocating all of our funds, permanent improvement funds for next year. Already by fiscal year 28, without the essential plan, the projects we have listed would put us, well, we couldn't do them. We'd be $5 million in the hole. And you can see that by fiscal year 34, we would require around $29 million, 28, $0.7 million to complete all these projects, really just to get in a spot where our facilities are addressed. But remember that if the essential plan passes, that's about $24 million that will be off of that. So then you're only talking a few $1 million. Some of those could be delayed, or maybe we are able to find corporate sponsorships for some of them. Maybe some of them we just do not tackle. Quite simply, we just won't be able to do it. But I guess my point is, we have a plan. This is a living, breathing document. It's how we're going to make facility decisions, from a priority standpoint moving forward. And if the essential plan passes, we will be at a place where in fiscal year 34, if not sooner, where the district is in solid stance with our facilities, and we could actually begin to be a little bit more proactive with our maintenance instead of only fixing things basically when they break or fail, or when we have potholes all over the place, which is where we find ourselves right now. So a lot of work went into this, a lot of thought has gone into this. I'm really proud of our team putting the work in having this document, and a lot hinges on the essential plan. If we're passed, I feel very good about where we can be as a district with our facilities. If we do not, I quite honestly don't have an answer for the board or for our community or our parents, because you can see the amount of money that's really necessary to address our facility issues. So, questions? I know I just threw a lot of information at you, but you do have it to look at it more deeply too, so. Mr. Schiraldi, did you want to add anything too? I know you've been pivotal in the creation of this, and
No,
Mr. Arquilla.
You hit a lot of the important stuff. Right now, our PI brings in about roughly $870,000 a year. So, you know, even though we did kind of put this plan together, depending on what happens, there are a lot of, like, again, Greenman Way, even dividing that up over 3 years, it's $700,000 a year. So it's not really feasible to do that in 1 year because that takes up the entire PI fund. So, you know, if the bond doesn't pass, we'll be doing a lot more work on this to have to spread things out and really prioritize what's going on. And we understand that. So there's, like he said, it's a living document. It'll continue to change as, you know, our needs and priorities continue to grow and change as well. So.
One thing that I did forget to add, which some of you might ask, we did work with TDA in order to have these prices. And then if you look at it like fiscal year 30, 31, 32, we actually built in inflationary costs. So those items are actually more expensive than they would have been, say, if we were tackling it in the next year or so. And they helped us build in what those inflationary values should be, whether it's 3%, 6%, 10%, depending upon the fiscal year.
It's a very impressive document, and I trust it'll be useful as we continue to disseminate information to the community when they have questions about what the plan is, how the money will be spent. That would be good. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Anything else?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you, assuming the essential plan passes in November, is there anything that you might foresee that might need to be replaced at Craddock in the interim before we start the building process, or?
The goal would be no.
Okay.
The goal would be no. We would right away start to tackle the triage list in terms of starting to do some of the paving and roofing and some of those projects, which are absolute necessity. And then tackle kitchen equipment, you know, as it comes, and then get into the building project. So, no, our goal is to not. That being said, we do have a $100,000 boiler, you know, over there. We have roofs. I mean, things could fail before we build a new building, and we may be forced to sink, you know, a couple $100,000 into Craddock, but we would try not to, if possible. Okay. Thank you. All right, Mr. Hayes.
You guys good for my report?
What?
Are you guys good for my report right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, yes.
All right. Thank you for allowing me to have a little bit of time. I want to take my time this evening to help inform the board as well as any of our stakeholders about the landscape of the testing season that our students and staff members have been taking on over the past several months. And I want to start by kind of framing this with intentionality. So we never view standardized test scores as that end product or end goal. We talk all the time about valuing the process over the product. And I've talked about that in my written report that I provided everybody, but our outcomes on these types of assessments are truly the byproduct of a higher purpose, and that's focusing on the holistic child, really nurturing those roots and upholding our green standard with as much fidelity as we can. So tonight's about detailing the immense effort it takes to embody that green standard during this high-stakes testing season. So just to kind of get things started, I want to give you guys a sense of scope and sequence regarding what's going on. So starting with gifted testing. Gifted testing takes place in 2nd and 5th grade. Goes out to that begins with our gifted coordinator, Becky Quinn, doing COGAT and Iowa testing. That's just meeting basic state gifted requirements. We also have English language learners who Stacy Levy and Liz Flannery, they conduct those Ohio English language proficiency assessments for all students in our district who are eligible for EL, which is English language services. And that's really gauging their progress and to determine if students are ready to maybe exit those services as well. And then we have Mr. Maglianico over here, as well as our 612 Special Services Coordinator, Mr. Torres, who collaborate with the rest of our special education staff to conduct alternative state tests for eligible students. And this is a group that typically represents about 1% of our student population. And then we kind of jump into some really heavy lifts here. And in April, we shift gears to end-of-course testing, EOCs. These are what we also might refer to as OSTs, Ohio State Tests. And of course, you've heard me talk many times about our testing in the fall when those official scores and state report card are released. But this really impacts students in grades 3 through 11. And so all students in grades 3 through 8 are taking English and math, and then in grades 5 and 8, they're also taking science. And so if we're looking at approximately 200 to 250 students per grade, many of those tests are split into 2 parts. And so, you have kids in 3rd grade taking maybe 4 straight days of testing. If you're in 5th grade, you have, potentially 6 different days of testing spread out over several weeks. It's a big undertaking. Then when we go into the high school, we've got 6 different assessments: Algebra 1, American Government, American History, Biology, English Language Arts 2, which is their sophomore year English class, and Geometry. And just to talk a little bit about some of these tests, it requires a massive shift in our building schedules, room assignments, and just ultimately the instructional flow of the day. Our building principals, counselors, teachers, and proctors, they do an incredible job ensuring that despite the pressure of these high-stakes tests, the atmosphere for our students remains calm, positive, focused. That starts with teachers who are caring for our kids when they come in the building. You could walk down the hallways at Layton and see signs supporting kids, making them feel cared about. Members of our PTO who are out there supporting our kids with little goodies and things like that, and pick-me-ups at the start of the day. So it's really a communal effort there. But beyond the data, there's also real-world implications for our students. These EOCs are tied to our students' graduation requirements, and then specifically, students must reach a competency score in Algebra and English Language Arts 2, and then other scores in certain tests can actually help students earn seals that can be attributed towards other graduation aspects. Then, over these last 2 weeks, so we do pretty much OST or EOC testing throughout the very end of March through the entire month of April, and then we shift into advanced placement testing, or otherwise known as AP testing at the high school. And this year is particularly noteworthy as we've reached another milestone in our district's history. So AP testing wrapped up this past Friday, although we do have the national window for makeup testing is also happening this week, so we do have some students who are still taking some of those tests this week. But we had 467 students last week, or the last 2 weeks, take over 1,050 AP exams, which surpassed the record which we set last year, which was set the previous year before that. So each year we've been breaking those records, and that's across 26 different subject areas that we're testing at the high school. So you have 26 different tests spread out over 10 days with all sorts of coordination that's going on every single day. And we mentioned this back in the fall and even into the winter. Those are the types of things that allow us to earn the things like AP Platinum designation from a national perspective. And again, this is a huge undertaking. It's led by our counseling team at the high school, but really there's coordination and planning required from a multitude of individuals, from the physical spaces to the utilization of sub-proctors. So we have people at the board office who are helping get proctors. We have building secretaries who are doing just that. And then we have teachers who are doing it as well while still maintaining their everyday duties. So it's a big undertaking. I also want to just talk about when we look at the whole landscape of testing in general, I really do want to take a few minutes to showcase appreciation to all of our principals and assistant principals who've done a wonderful job coordinating the process. Also want to give a special shout out and thanks to our new Layton Elementary principal, Mr. Warders, and new Layton counselor, Mrs. Watkins. They both hit the ground running this past spring and really made sure our testing processes for our youngest test takers was phenomenal. So they did a great job. And then speaking of those in new roles, we had new Harmon Assistant Principal, Dr. Jeremy Rothstein, along with longtime AHS Principal, Mr. A, who did an excellent job working with their staff. I see Mr. Brian Casio back there as well. I know he even helps with some of the logistics, getting all of Harmon's testing to run smoothly for all of our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And then continuing on at the high school from Dr. Patch, and then really Mr. Torres, that's one of his primary duties, is helping to orchestrate all aspects of the end-of-course testing process at the high school. While Mr. Baker, our other assistant principal, he has a lot of dedicated efforts really running our PSAT, which is in the fall, and then our SAT, which we do a National SAT Day in early March. And there's a ton of logistics that go into that. I also want to showcase appreciation to our maintenance and custodial teams. Across the district, they do a tremendous job, whether that's making sure that the environment is clean, ready to go, desks are in the places that they need to be, especially in those bigger environments. Every day there's a different number of students. So for example, last Friday you could have 120 students taking AP Environmental Science, and the day before that you could have had 67 students taking AP World History, and just having the facilities ready to go every single day in an environment that was that fostered positivity for our kids to be in a good space to take those high stakes assessments. They do a tremendous job communicating with all of our principals and administrators, so I can't say enough good things about all of our maintenance and custodial staff in that regard. I also want to showcase gratitude for our tech team. We have our tech integration specialist, Mr. Andrew Sams, as well as our new networks operations manager, who's in the back here, Mr. Joel Marino. Both of them have done an outstanding job with making sure that our Wi-Fi and bandwidth can handle all of these tests that are going on. We had one day where the 4th grade assessment was not loading up correctly, and within 5 minutes, Mr. Woodard called me. Mr. Sams and I had it ready to go on their device in a few minutes, and that was just the ability to troubleshoot effectively, make it happen so all those kids could take their tests at the right time. But Joel, Andrew, present every single day, making sure that tests are working, internet access is working. So they did an outstanding job. And it goes above and beyond just those particular testing days. When we're looking at things like state testing, they have a particular platform that they're using on our Chromebooks, but then when you go into something like PSAT testing or SAT testing or ACT or even AP testing, they're using different platforms. So to make sure that our students have access to all of those apps, if you will, on their Chromebooks, and they're working appropriately, that's all through them, making sure that rosters are uploaded, Chromebooks are set and ready to go. Again, they did a great job. And then even when we talk about non-state required testing, the last couple of meetings you've heard me talk about diagnostic testing over at Miller or Craddock when we look at things like Ames Web, Acadians, iReady, making sure that all those devices are uploaded with student rosters, the appropriate apps and everything like that to make sure that our kids are able to perform without an additional layer of pressure. So again, I want to make sure that our tech team gets their due diligence because they're doing a great job with everything there. And then so ultimately, just knowing that there's a lot that goes into this landscape, I just want to thank all members of our staff. And it takes a great deal of teamwork, but also having just a positive spirit, keeping our students at the center of everything they do. So we have staff members, like I said, at Layton who are creating signs and things like that to create a positive learning environment. People being intentional about how they speak to kids when they come into the room. They could say, hey, put your backpack against the wall, but instead they're doing it in a really kind way to make sure that our kids feel positive when they're going into this environment as opposed to feeling pressurized or anything like that. So again, it's a team effort, and once again, it just proves that Greenman Nation can come together even with their state required obligations. They do so with excellence and never losing sight of the whole child. And again, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been involved in that process from our entire district, and thank you to the board for all this support. So thank you to everybody, and as always, go Greenman, and I'll take any questions that you have about our testing season.
Well, we thank you at the table and those in the audience who continue to invest in whole child development over the mere test scores, and we know it's working, and despite what Mike refers to as the robust testing landscape. Thank you.
And I appreciate it. And I will say we did get from the state lens last week, social studies, science, and math scores were released. And then this Wednesday, English scores were released. And again, the scores were outstanding. So I can tell you like 97% of our kids passed U.S. government. There was a huge spike in our sixth grade math, which is a really big priority aspect of this year that we were really focusing on. So it was awesome to see some of those results. And again, we'll share more of that information across the fall when everything comes out and is connected to the state report card. But it was reassuring last week and a little bit relieving when people see those things, because you feel like, hey, you're trying to do the right thing by nurturing the roots. And then when you see those outcomes come in, it reinforces that.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Schiraldi.
Financial reports for the end of April 2026. For the month of April, expenditures exceeded revenues by approximately $135,000, which is typical for this point in the fiscal year following our spring property tax settlement cycle. Despite this monthly operating loss, overall general fund cash balance has increased from the beginning of the year up to $24.3 million through the month of April. Total revenues are 4.5% greater than prior year, while expenditures are 2.1% greater than the prior year, continuing a favorable trend in overall financial performance for this fiscal year. April revenues totaled $3.8 million, which is $775,000 higher than April 2025. This increase is primarily attributable to the receipt of a refund of prior year expenditures from Portage County for a real estate appraisal fund reimbursement. I think I mentioned that to you last month, so that finally came in, and like I said, was unexpected revenue, but greatly appreciated. This was a one-time occurrence that we do not project will be received again throughout the life of our current forecast. Year-to-date revenues through April totaled $52.3 million, representing an increase of $2.2 million, or that 4.5% compared to the prior year. The largest favorable variances include real estate tax collections, and obviously the higher refund of prior year expenditures. Revenue collections remain favorable compared to forecast assumptions, and we are currently continuing to trend in favorable compared to the forecast. April expenditures totaled $3.9 million, which was approximately $284,000 lower than April of 2025. Monthly variances were impacted by a decrease in other expenditures and salary and benefits. Year-to-date expenditures through April totaled $42.5 million, which is $875,000, or that 2.1% higher than prior year. The largest expenditure increase from prior year continues to be health insurance costs. Expenditures continue to track closely with forecast assumptions and are currently trending approximately $183,000 favorable compared to the forecast. The district's total cash balance for all funds at the end of April was $26.6 million, with the general fund balance totaling $24.3 million. Compared to the prior year, revenues are higher by approximately $2.2 million, expenditures are higher by $875,000, and cash balances are higher by approximately $2 million. The current 5-year forecast analysis projects a fiscal year 26 year-end cash balance of approximately $16 million, representing a net favorable variance to the forecast.
Okay.
And that's all I have. Any questions?
Are there any, we'll take a motion first. Exhibit D1 is a resolution to approve financial statements and reports.
Move. Second.
Are there any questions for Mr. Schiraldi? All right, and please call the roll.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes.
Mr. Acom?
Yes.
Dr. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller?
All right, thank you. That concludes your report.
Yes.
We'll move on to personnel resolutions. We have Exhibit E1B1. I'm going to take 7 of them together, then I'll get a motion, if that's okay. All right, Exhibit E1B1 is a resolution to approve the introductory appointment of support staff. Exhibit E1B2, a resolution to approve a position change of a classified staff member. Exhibit E1B3 is a resolution to award supplemental contracts to district and non-district personnel. Exhibit E1B4 is a resolution to award summer supplemental contracts. Exhibit E1B5 is a resolution to employ support staff. Exhibit E1B6 is a resolution to award a teacher a 1-year limited contract, and I understand he's here, so we'll introduce him in a minute. And Exhibit E1B7 is a resolution to adjust the contract days of building level secretaries, library assistants, media center clerk, and transportation dispatcher. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Are there any comments or questions? Mr. Schroeder, please call the roll.
Mr. Akam?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller?
Yes.
Dr. Snyder?
Yes.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes. So resolutions are approved. Would you like to introduce Mr. Aaron?
Certainly.
Thanks. Since he's
Microphone here. Yes, we have Mr. Jay Aaron, who is going to be our newest member of the Aurora High School English Department. Very excited to have him join us from Lake School District. It was an extensive process, actually, that we went through, and he rose to the top, and we're excited about his alignment with our values here, and know he's going to live up to the Green Standard. He's going to do great things, you know, for our kids and for the staff for a long time. So I don't know if you want to have him stand up and say anything, or if we're just going to say welcome.
Did you want to say anything?
I'm excited to be here.
He is definitely excited to be here. I can attest to that. Full of energy and passion.
We're excited to have you. Thanks for coming tonight. Okay. All right, moving on. E1C is a resolution to accept and approve the graduating class of 2026. May I have a motion, please?
Second.
Any comments or questions? I hope not. All right, Mr. Schroeder, please call the roll.
Mr. Akam?
Yes.
Dr. Snyder?
Yes.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller?
All right. We have no discussion items tonight. Under board items, I would just like to ask the board, if you all are agreeable to moving our meeting times in June and July up to 6 o'clock. We typically do that. If you think, and if you need to get back to me, you can, but it helps. So far, so good? Okay. Confirm that, but yeah.
Yes, I can confirm that with our space usage, and then also on the calendar invites that I sent everybody. I'll move those up to 6 p.m. for the special board meeting, and then both of our regular meeting in June and July. We can take care of that. And then the grad alphabets, you got, the board members are all set for Thursday night? Okay, all right.
Okay, any other board items? Okay, then could I please have a motion for adjournment?
Move. Second?
All right, Mr. Schroeder, please call the roll.
Mr. Akam?
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalis?
Yes.
Mrs. Click?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller? Dr. Snyder?
Yes.